last question was, during an accident, is it always the foreigner's fault? I'm driving down to get some dog food in SNR because I want to try if I could go there, because that's the dog food my dogs are used to from SNR. And I have stocked up like 5 sacks when the start of the lockdown, but I'm now on my last sack, so I need to make sure that they have enough. If I can get it, I'll get another one, but pre-mix it slowly to their new one. So while I'm driving here, I would like to address an email from a person that they want to visit the Philippines for the first time, and as tourists, when travel is allowed, and as tourists, they want to know what driving around is like, and what if there's an accident, and also, is it true that during accident it's always the foreigner's fault? So let's start with the first question. What driving is like in the Philippines? As you know, we have narrower roads than what you have there in the West, especially in America. Driving in the cities is quite hard during traffic. It's bumper to bumper. And also another problem that you will encounter is the people tends to go to the road because there's no pavement to walk into, and also the parking like that you tend to swerve to avoid it. So, and also you got motorcycles, bicycles that just won't follow the lane, want to be in the middle as well, and or like bicycles, they just in and out, even meet you on your side. Even some of the vehicles will meet you on your side. So you should be more alert, watching from side to side, but you soon get used to it. And like that, overtaking, undertaking, that's a very common thing. What I do, I just stay on my lane, follow the 30 km per hour limit on city driving. And foreigners can drive here up to 90 days when they arrive as foreign tourists here. So you can drive around with your foreign driver's license up to 90 days, and after that you need to get a local license or exchange your driving license into a local one. I think they will also give you back your country's license anyway. You just be issued another license, and has to pass all the tests that is required, of course, like medical tests. That's all, because they already know you know how to drive, but it's just the medical tests, the usual routine, urine, eye tests. And then another thing is, since I told you about that, you need to be more aware, spatial aware as well, because like most vehicles follow the lane, but some drivers just go off in a tangent, just even use your own lane. Even like I said, the one that you meet on the other side, they will even use your own lane as well to overtake. So that's why you see barriers like this. Even if there is double yellow line there, they still gonna cross over it. So barriers was put in for discipline. I gotta admit, we are not the most disciplined drivers here in the world. So that's why I said city driving is hard. But since I believe that you both, these foreigners that's writing me an email, they both know how to drive. Maybe more skilled how to drive. So you must be aware of it. And I'm just telling you that you can drive here for 90 days, and after that, you need to get your own license. And the last question was, during an accident, is it always the foreigner's fault? No. During accidents, in the scene, you need to call, like here in Cebu, you need to call the local traffic police officer. And the traffic police officer will go and sketch, take a picture of the actual impact to know who's at fault. Usually here in Cebu, we have a saying that as long as your front is safe, it's the other one's fault. So you've been bumped. If your front is safe and the hit was on the side, on the back, then they are the one in fault. And it's not because you're a foreigner, it's automatically your fault, because there is a police officer that has to take a picture. It's not like that they can draw what they want. You can take a picture yourself to argue your case when it comes to the traffic office. And then when it's sorted in the traffic, you both be taken to the traffic office. That's what the routine here. Taken to the traffic office, both of your driver's license be confiscated, so you can claim it in the traffic office, and you'll be issued a temporary traffic ticket, a temporary driving ticket that you can drive while they get your driver's license. And you'll be setting a schedule, what time you're gonna be there. Both of you and the person that you had made an accident with has to agree on a date and time that you're gonna go and meet in the traffic office. And there, it will be discussed based on the pictures, based on the drawing, who's at fault. Then, settlement, who's be paying through insurance, it will be agreed, and it will be put in writing, and you both sign in. It's not that it's always the foreigner's fault, because that's just stupid. That's how the rules here. And I've seen foreigners that went to the traffic office and they win. The Filipino paid. So it's not true that the foreigner's is always at fault. And if you see foreigners that even though it's not their fault, pay, well, it's not the officer's fault. It's just him. It's gullible. Because I know not a lot of people is gullible. There are more smart people than gullible people, that they know that they have rights the same as what the Filipinos have rights in driving down the road, driving on a road. So like here in the city, it's only 30 km per hour is the limit. Now, there's no much about speeding here like I've seen in other countries that someone is watching the speed. It's not so much as the speeding here. It's mostly the traffic is more concerned about the accidents. So even if the limit here is 30, but if the clear road, you can go 40 or even 50. But if you had an accident, that's when the officers get involved. It's not that you'll be stopped just because you're speeding. As long as you are safe and you're not hurting anyone, you're fine. And then when there's an accident, it can be determined if you are speeding anyway based on the impact. Then you'll be done for that as well. And another thing is right now they're very strict on registration if you want to ride on motorbikes. That's the one that they keep on having checks on the road, checking the lights, checking the registration, checking anything. It seems to be the motorbike are the ones being so strict because of a lot of motorbikes is not registered. A lot of motorbikes got faults on it, no lights, no indicator lights. Then vehicles. So it's not really dangerous to drive here if you're so used to driving in your country, because I remember one foreigner that he don't really want to drive here because he's so scared because people just cross over without notice, like you think they're walking and they just suddenly cross. That's why the limit's only 30, so you have time to anticipate those things. I do. When I drive, I always anticipate that this person will cross, and I always keep the distance. Like that one, I thought he's turning on the left, but he just continue on. But when you get used to driving here, it's not really that bad. It's only during traffic, and especially in the mountain areas where we are, it's not traffic, so we just drive on. But we still observe the limit, and I still stay on my side. You know, the roads are narrow, and when the argument in the office, who's at fault, if your vehicle is positioned on your right lane, then you got a good advantage. But it's not always the foreigner's fault, because some of the foreigners, I've seen the one that they said, oh, the foreigner's fault. The foreigner is drunk. That's 9 out of 10. The foreigner is drunk. So the accident happened. And they claim, oh, it's always the foreigner's fault. But the cases that I've read, the cases that I've heard, the cases that we got a lot of traffic officers, neighbors, actually, that's where I hear it from. The foreigners are drunk and drive around, meet an accident, and then claim that you're racist. You are blaming us because we're foreigners. But our traffic police officers, we got about like 10 in there in that place, tell us when we get talking that there's some of them are just abusive. They don't just blame the foreigners. They always have to picture the technology now. They can picture what is happening. You can take a picture yourself. So if the picture is sent to the police office is wrong, then you have your own. So yeah, driving is not really bad here in the Philippines. It's just traffic sometimes, and then you get that bicycle on the road.